What's going on there, people? This is Chris, and we're going to talk about Phenibut. Now, in this kind of discussion, review, tips kind of thing, I'm going to talk a little bit off the top of my head and then go over the notes that I'm looking for on the screen, okay? It's much better for me to give to you, the real deal on this kind of stuff rather than making any sort of, formal presentation or anything like that. All right? The only thing that will not be included in this review is any comparisons of Phenibut or any sort of comprehensive comparisons of Phenibut to other drugs. Okay, we're talking prescription drugs or anything like that. We're not making those comparisons. Those are available elsewhere on the internet. In my review, for instance, slightly, but will not be in this video. All right, if you guys want to know what Phenibut we're recommending today, and this is 2014, this would be the one that I would get. It is, if you caught that, 99% pure Phenibut from our friends at HappyHippo. Now, I've tried a lot of other ones that were very good. Serious Nutrition Solutions that make caps, which are very convenient. Lift Mode also is good, very popular one. But with all that in mind, I feel that this one is definitely the best one because you have to take less of it. It's just about completely pure, and it seems to hit faster in that kind of way. But caps are convenient otherwise. A lot of these are about the same. But HappyHippo is the one I recommend. It's the one I've been using for the past 2 years. All right, so what is Phenibut? That might be a basic question for you guys out there. Basically, it is a dietary supplement that is currently legal in the United States and probably will be for a little while, if not forever. But it tickles the GABA receptors, okay? You have different receptors in your brain and other parts of the body too. Opiate receptors might be familiar. GABA receptors are another one. Now, GABAgenic derivatives, okay, at least among pharmaceutical drugs, are called benzodiazepines, okay, Valium, Xanax, those kind of things. We're not going to get too far into that, but Phenibut would fall along that category, okay, and with those anti-anxiety drugs. Now, it is not a prescription drug, at least not in the United States. It's a dietary supplement, but it will tickle the GABA receptors. The big difference, and this is about as far as we're going to go into it with Phenibut versus prescription drugs, is Phenibut tickles the GABA B receptors, okay? And those other ones that I mentioned are mainly GABA A and some GABA B. So the big difference here, and this is key, okay? Listen to this here. This is key. The biggest difference between Phenibut and those, your Valiums and prescription drugs, is the effect is somewhat different, okay? Those drugs they absolutely kill anxiety. That's why they're prescription drugs for, and prescribed oftentimes with good reason to kill anxiety, but they also kill your motivation, okay? And that is definitely why I really encourage people to look into definitely other things than your benzodiazepine prescription drugs, okay? Because those definitely kill your motivation. Phenibut, on the other hand, will not do that. So you have the anti-anxiety benefits without it slaughtering your motivation. And that is why, okay, if there's any one good reason that Phenibut is, gets my seal of approval and works so well for so many people, is that you keep your motivation, you lose your anxiety. All right, so on that part, let's talk about, what does it feel like? What can you expect, okay? If you do respond to it, which largely about 98% of people will, I think the general consensus out there that is pretty good, okay? There's different doses you can take of this, okay? There's a dose, okay, use as directed, but, on any product, any Phenibut supplement you buy, there will be 2 doses listed. One for sleep, which is in excess of 4 grams, usually about 4 grams, and then anything less than that for typically getting rid of anxiety, okay? So that can be from 500 milligrams to somewhere in 3-4 grams, something like that. But the 4-gram dose you take all at once would be for sleep. All right, so for sleep, you get really tired. You fall asleep, okay? You get a deep, deep sleep, and you tend to get very wild dreams because you're in a very, very deep sleep, okay? For anxiety, this is what it does, okay? Like I said, it doesn't kill your motivation. So the best description I thought of was just extreme calmness, okay? It can be a drastic reduction in anxiety. Okay, and it's dose dependent. So moderate anxiety can be lowered to nothing. Extreme anxiety, if you're following the doses right and taking it for extreme anxiety, it can lower it to practically nothing. Okay, so extreme reduction in anxiety. I would say a moderate to greater than moderate, okay, maybe not extreme, but increase in pro-social behavior. And I call pro-social behavior, the motivation to chit-chat with people. Obviously, it's very popular among our community for picking up girls. Just the motivation to go interact with your fellow humans or other animals in your presence. So definitely an increase in pro-social behavior. I would say along the same levels of moderate to above moderate increase in your sense of well-being. Okay, some of you guys might know that is just kind of like just when you get anxiety, it really lowers your sense of everything's going to be okay. Okay, and that's one of the biggest bummers with anxiety. It's your mind's going a million miles an hour. Okay, you're not, as they say, present. In the world. You're in your head, which is probably in the future or in the past or something like that. But gets you out of that state. Okay, you do have a feeling that everything's going to be okay. You feel you're more in control of things, and this is typical of any kind of anti-anxiety thing that does work. And there's not that much that works that's on the legal spectrum, but this is, and obviously one of the reasons I recommend it. Now, here's something that is pretty much dose dependent. Okay, and I say a slight to moderate increase in euphoria. Okay, slight to moderate euphoria. High levels of euphoria can be achieved, at higher doses, obviously still within the range. It will tell you all those range, to tell you the dosing on the thing. But largely, you're not going over 4 grams. But we can talk about dosing later. Music sounds amazing, okay? And this is unlike any other kind of GABAgenic drug, okay, or compound. Okay, I certainly know that with prescription drugs, music doesn't sound any different. If not, it might sound worse. Music sounds amazing. We're not going to go into the other compounds that might benefit, how music and just the sensory response and the things are. But music sounds incredible, better than anything, better than any compound I've ever tried. And believe me, I've tried a lot. Music sounds absolutely amazing. You want to feel like dancing. The bass, and I'm not a huge lover of bass. It actually causes me anxiety sometimes. But, you really feel the music in your body. And it's like great for cardio at the gym. You don't want to stop. And so music is great. So that's why a lot of people kind of in the dance or club scene really like to take Phenibut because they get really into what they're doing. Okay, a moderate increase in cognitive processes. Basically, you're thinking fast. Now, Phenibut, although kind of along the anti-anxiety spectrum, is a nootropic. Okay, it is a smart drug. Okay, and every time I say drug, I want to preface that with it's a legal dietary supplement. Okay, so it is a smart supplement. It will make your brain work slightly better. That's not a reason to take it. Okay, there's other drugs that or other nootropics, legal supplements that do so, but you will speed up your brain. Okay. And that definitely usually suggests that you have a slightly improved rate of memory retention, okay? In low doses, for guys, they think it increases their sexual performance. I'm torn on that. I don't really know for sure, but some guys say sex feels amazing. I can confirm, okay, and I do have some audios on my website to prove what I'm saying, okay, that girls think so too, okay. Their heightened sense of their heightened sense of arousal is extremely heightened, okay. It definitely increases their sexual, I wouldn't say performance because so many girls just lay there, but the sensations and what they feel. And also how, as an aphrodisiac, kind of how willing and able and eager they are to get it on definitely increases sex drive, okay? But like so many of these things do, alcohol, I guess we could talk about alcohol here, alcohol, marijuana, people say, when they use it, at least in moderate kind of amounts, they want to go have sex. Phenibut, largely the same thing. All right, so, and again, back to the big one here. Unlike a lot of other compounds, Phenibut will kill your anxiety without killing your motivation. That is key. That, and because it's legal, is one of the reasons I recommend it to you. And what should you expect from it? Exactly what I said. All those things. Absolutely. It's a very clean supplement in the fact that, unlike stimulants that, can get your blood pressure all up and are great for the gym, there's going to be a crash on it. No such thing on Phenibut. No such thing on any gabagenic type of things. Alcohol itself is considered largely gabagenic. There's no crash on alcohol. You can get a hangover from taking too much, but, you're not 3 drinks in and then, falling to pieces and getting a ton of anxiety. So that's what you can expect from it. Now, I have some comparisons, like I said, to other things, other supplements and compounds and stuff like that I've used on the review, but we're not going to talk about them there, okay? I think you'll like it. I wouldn't be recommending if I didn't. The only thing that makes, with a little bit of reservation is you don't want to use this stuff every day. Now, look who's talking. I used basically a half to 1 gram every day. Okay, that's a very, very small dosage, but I don't use it these days for social anxiety. I run the whole good-looking loser thing, and for 2 or 3 years, all I did was talk to girls, so I don't have anxiety doing that. But these days, I do find it useful for just taking the edge off, okay? But if you do take it every day, and it says on every supplement bottle and every kind of disclaimer that you get with it not to do so, you will grow a tolerance to it. You will grow a dependency for it, okay? And that's not to be taken lightly, because when you have a dependency on GABAgenic derivatives, okay, those GABA receptors, they're not as quick to upregulate and leave you alone, okay? So you can experience a very real dependency on this stuff. So don't take it every day. My kind of advice is, and this is going off, what a lot of supplement companies say, 2 days a week, you'll be fine, okay? If you take it for 4 days in a row, you should give yourself at least 8 days off, okay? And, I would have just a real purpose of what to take it for. I use it to take the edge off, I guess, but, with all the kind of hard, just stressors in the world today, people are tempted to run to something right away. But, I would have another alternative to that, okay? Because you don't want to get dependent on that. You don't really want to get dependent on anything. But, that it certainly can be helpful if you show some self-control and don't let yourself go down that path, okay? It's going to work really well for the majority of people. There's a lot of kind of uses for it between sleep, anti-anxiety, getting rid of social anxiety, partying, and all that kind of stuff. So you got to find out where it fits into your life. This is the real deal, though. Okay, Phenibut definitely works. It was used in Russia for a long, long period of time. That's actually where it was discovered. Rumor has it that the Russian cosmonauts, those are the former Soviet Union, basically equivalent to astronauts that go up into space, right? They had it in their anti-anxiety kit. So rather than, the usual anti-anxiety stuff that's given out, the Valium, which is, basically, why did I just forget the real name of that, though? Valium, something Pam. Excuse me on that. I'm usually real quick with these things. But, I can assume they use it because an anti-anxiety supplement that can speed up your cognitive processes, because usually when your brain is moving faster, your blood pressure is moving faster, your anxiety is heightened. This one has the unique benefit of keeping it the other way around. So, I've used it for a lot of things too. I have, when this thing first came out and hit the market in the United States, I believe it was around 2004. I mean, it's been out for a while now. and sold as a dietary supplement. I have used it, and it's pretty good. But again, not something you want to take every day. Find the purpose of where it is in your life. You got to take it. It definitely helps to take it. Okay, and the instructions will be on the bottle for you. But if you take it with a stimulant, and we're just talking caffeine here, on an empty stomach, A, you have to take less, B, it hits faster, and C, it's a better overall effect, okay? So what I would do, the days that I've used it are, okay, put it in an energy drink, okay, on an empty stomach in the morning, and I would say, obviously this is using as directed, 1 gram to 2 grams, slug down the energy drink, okay, and then eat a little later when you get hungry. I guess it can knock off your appetite a little bit, because most things that affect your state, either in a sedative way or in a stimulating way, do. But caffeine definitely helps with it. I always suggest people make sure you're going sugar free, because a lot of these things, caffeinated drinks, people turn right to sugar. So Diet Red Bull is good. The Rockstar Zeros are good, or even just Mountain Dew or soda. Or if you're a coffee person, coffee. It definitely mixes up better than the other stuff. The taste is nasty. Like, it really is. It's not something you want to... People do this, like, toss and wash stuff with Kratom, which is just, like, putting it in your mouth, gulping it down, and then slugging down some liquid. Don't do it with this. I dare you. Seriously. But largely, a dosing schedule would work like this, and this is the one-on-ones that we talk about on Good Looking Loser. You wake up, you take 2 to 3 capsules, or would be 2 to 3 scoops, and each scoop is 500 milligrams. So, 2 or 3 capsules equivalent to, 1 gram to 1.5 grams. Okay, you take an energy drink with it, caffeine, coffee, whatever. Okay, put a little stimulant behind it, and then wait a little while till you eat. 2 hours later, you're gonna reevaluate. How do you feel? Do you feel that it's kicked in? Okay, how do you know if it's kicked in? Well, for most people, it'll be obvious. Like, wow, I want to go talk to people. I want to go have fun. I'm having a really good day. To other people, it might be less obvious if you're not around people. Just turn some music up. How does it sound? Sit down and listen to it. It will be a pronounced effect. Now, Phenibut does take a while to kick in. Its half-life is really, really long. It will be in your system for, at least on paper, for over 2 days. How long will you feel it? About, then I went from 16 to 24 hours, seriously. But it takes a while to kick in, so a lot of the effects, like the music, the real drastic reduction in anxiety, that might come if you take them in the morning. That might be toward the afternoon, to the end of the afternoon, into the night. So this is something that, suppose you were going out and wanting to meet girls at a bar, and I don't suggest drinking on this stuff, okay? Neither do any of the companies that produce this stuff. But I think in that situation, if you're going to go out at like 10 at night, this isn't necessarily something that when you want to take at 9, okay? It's something that you've kind of wanted to load through like the entire day. So if I was going out at night, and I've done this many times, I'd start my day out with Phenibut, and I would just keep slowly adding to it. And by the time the night came, felt fucking amazing. All right. So wake up, take your first dose. 2 hours later, reevaluate, consider to take 1 or 2 more. Okay, and then 5 hours after that. Okay, so you wake up, and then 2 hours later, and then 5 hours after that. So if you wake up at 12 in the afternoon, then at 2, 12 in the afternoon, right? Wake up at 12 in the afternoon, take your morning dose, stimulant. 2 hours later, reevaluate. 5 hours after that, which would be 7 at night, reevaluate after that. Usually, you only kind of got to use like 3 doses-ish, okay? And, I always say, a little at a time, a little at a time. The doses that put you to sleep are the big monster doses at once, okay? And unless you're using it for sleep, which is a legit use, don't be taking a lot of it at once. I don't suggest using it for sleep, okay? There's a lot of other things that you should exhaust for sleep, okay? Not prescription drugs, not Phenibut. Just because with Phenibut, the tolerance can grow very quickly, okay? And that is not unique of any of this GABAgenic compound, okay? GABA derivatives get quick dependencies, get quick tolerances, and the best way to give yourself a tolerance and a dependency is to take big doses. So I'm a big fan of the bare minimum. If you can't quite stick to that bare minimum, well then just don't use it more than a couple times a week. I mean, that would solve that. So, if you do take it with alcohol, which I actually don't recommend, and I'm not just saying that for the video, don't drive. Okay, drunk driving is not cool, and I'm being serious too. You're putting other people's lives at risk. It's not good like that. But people notice, and I have done this before, not driving, because I've wanted to see how it's been with alcohol. It will make 2 beers feel like 4 beers, all right? And 4 maybe feel like 7 or 8, okay? It does have a pronounced effect on alcohol because they're largely both GABA, tickling compounds. So if you drink, you probably want to drink like twice as little as you usually do, okay? And, this is not something where you slam a bunch of Phenibut, slam a bunch of alcohol, and think that you're going to be flying high. You'll probably be asleep, quite honestly. So don't take it every day. Enjoy it otherwise. Take it as directed. You want to come see our review. We tie into a little bit more stuff, including other reviews by other people, comparisons to other compounds out there, and it's good. Like I said, HappyHippo is the one I recommend. And, this, just for instance here, this is 50 grams of Phenibut, right? That right there should last you 4 months. Okay, this stuff is very inexpensive. It will be more expensive in capsules because companies that sell capsules charge more for them. But very easy to measure, very easy to play around with. It'll be a little bit of trial and error before you figure this out. Find your sweet spot, as I say. But it's totally worth it. I think it's a really good one as long as you can keep it under control. It's not like fucking some herbal valerian root or some bullshit that chamomile or something like that, which is okay. It's real. I mean, this will kick the shit out of your anxiety. Possibly get you off your ass and wanting to meet women or do whatever you do. So, it's one to definitely give a try. And, start slow. Figure it out for yourself. You'll be good. Good stuff.